they focus on.
Alright, so pretty much after recording that last video, I went to the store like maybe 20 or 30 minutes later, picked up a set of AC and fuel line disconnecting tools. I think they were like $6 for the set. Comes with a bunch of different sizes, but I'm bored and I just wanted to get more done today than I got done in the previous video. So yeah, I guess you guys are just gonna work with me here. Alright, so I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but pretty much it's self-explanatory. You take your tool, put it over the line like this, push it in to the connector like that. You'll hear it pop, or you'll feel it pop, and you should be able to wiggle off your fuel lines. If I did this correctly. Yep, there we go, perfect. And then obviously it's gonna leak a little bit of fuel. No big deal, move it off to the side. Your garage is gonna smell pretty bad, but yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. And I'm actually going to let that run for a minute. I don't want to get gas all over my hands. So, alright, so on the back of the intake manifold, you have this PCV hose coming off of it that you need to remove. I can't do this one-handed. Stay up there. Squeeze your hose clamp. The hose off. There we go. It's going to be a very dirty hose, unfortunately. Then there's one more. I think it just pulls right off. I can't see from this angle. And yep, this one just pulls right off. I'm actually going to kind of use a screwdriver to pry it off. It's a very soft rubber hose, so it's not going to take a whole lot. Get scooted off, and I pulled the rest of the way off, and there you go. Your intake manifold is off completely. And there you go. Alright, so here's a look of what you got to work with after you remove the intake manifold. I was actually surprised that the ports aren't as dirty as I thought they were going to be. Here, let me grab this light. 50,000 miles and they really aren't that bad, to be honest with you. I'm impressed. Hell yeah. Alright, so take your radiator out. You gotta disconnect your fans from it, which is two 10mm bolts here and here. You gotta undo your upper radiator hose on both parts because obviously, you know, all this is gonna come off anyway. So, that'll come right off. And there you go. Set that on the round. Now I just gotta take off my 10mm bolts. Should be pretty easy. Got one, two. Now in theory, my fans should be separated from the radiator. You gotta push these two little tabs together, looks like. Yep, there you go. Alright, so I'm gonna actually remove this sensor for the AC lines just in case I don't want to break it. Move that out of the way. Now I know that this is gonna be a bitch to remove. I've watched videos on it. You have to like really maneuver it out. I don't know, maybe it'll go easy for me, but I've heard that they don't like to be very easy on you. Alright, well, I stand corrected. That was pretty easy. Got the fans out, side by side. And then you should, well, you also, I do kind of want to drain this out a little bit more. There's going to be a valve underneath here on the driver's side. I have the camera set up, so I don't really want to move it right now. You just twist it and coolant will start to flow out. The remaining coolant anyway, which doesn't appear that there really is any, so that's good. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the radiator should pop. Alright, I'm gonna pause you guys and I'm gonna watch something really quick. Alright, so after a little bit of research, there's going to be two transmission cooler lines on both sides of the radiator, one here, straight down. And there's like these little like metal clips. They almost look like a 4-leaf clover. You gotta pull those out and then your trans cooler lines pop right out. They come straight back, right towards the firewall. Alright, so the radiator is out. Now I'm going to work on removing the water pump. There's two hoses on the side here that you have to remove, which look like they're going to be a pain in the ass. And then I don't remember how many bolts there are. I know there's quite a few. Maybe 10, I would say. 8mm bolts for the water pump, if I am not mistaken. So let's get those off. I guess it needs to be done, so, okay. Actually, I don't need to move that out of the way. But yeah, so pretty much just pull that off. You've got two hoses on the side over here. Try to get all the coolant out. The gaskets are stuck on pretty well, so I'm just going to leave them there. Try not to hit your AC condenser in doing all of this. Definitely don't want to do that. You don't want Freon going all over the place. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. Alright. Water pump is off. Set it down gently. Alright, so there's going to be three 15mm bolts here for these two pulleys on the driver's side of the car. Here, and then there's one down here right between the two pulleys. So let's take those off real quick. It's a 15mm, so. Oh, they're kind of long. And the last one. There we go. I'm just gonna set that there for now. These two bolts. I think actually I'm just gonna put these bolts, throw them back in a little bit so I don't misplace them. Alrighty, now on these, I believe to access one of the front cover bolts, you do have to remove two 15mm bolts on the alternator. There's one here and there's one right behind that pulley, the idler pulley. And you have to pretty much pivot the alternator over so you can get access to this one bolt for the front cover. It's right back there. You might be able to see it, I don't know. But yeah, so let's get that taken off. Hopefully you guys can see, maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, you guys can barely see, but whatever. So I believe that these are the same size. They are 15mm. Yep, they are. Perfect. Alrighty. Here you gotta take off, and then there's that bolt there, that bolt there. You should be able to pivot this out of the way just enough to get to the other bolt. So, yeah. Alright, so for the headers, you're gonna have 6 13mm bolts. Luckily, I do have long tube headers already, so it's not that hard. I'm gonna go ahead and take them off. I'm probably gonna mute this because this air ratchet is gonna be pretty loud, so. Alright, so I just want to go over what I did really quick. So the process is the same for this side. 6 13mm bolts. And then in addition to that, you're going to have a 15mm bolt to remove the oil dipstick. You're going to need to remove that to get it out of the way, because there's 2 bolts that go right there that this is kind of blocking, so you just got to kind of pivot it out of the way, you know. Now for your valve covers, you're going to take those off next, or at least I'm taking them off next. You've got 4 8mm bolts on the top here, and they should just pull right off. You might need a little bit of force to pull them off, just because I know sometimes the gaskets stick, so we'll see. And then I'm going to need a ratchet for this one back here, of course. Not a big deal. Like I said, they do tend to stick just a little bit, which isn't a big deal. Stick a screwdriver here, kind of twist it. Should crack the seal, and they should pull right up. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. So now that they're cracked loose, you should be able to just take them the rest of the way off. Now again, these ones back here are going to be very tight because there's still pressure on the springs. So just rotate it. You'll see them pop up, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully the camera picks it up. Alrighty, they should pop up. See them going up right here. And as soon as it stops going up, you're good to take the bolt out. So there you go, it's all the way up. Alright, here we go. There's your first set of 8 rockers. Go and put them off on the side. I do recommend putting them on a very clean surface, so that way there's no dust or anything that gets in them and contaminates them. Go and set them off over there. Then you can pull out your push rods. Okay, there we go. So there's your 8 push rods, and then just go and repeat the process for the other side. Super, super simple. Alrighty, so it's the next day. I kind of took a break last night just because I was tired. And look at what just showed up just a couple minutes ago. So I've got the 3 bolt conversion kit. Comes with the cam sprocket, the new valve springs, the dual valve springs, which look really, really good actually. Got that. And then in here's the new head bolts and stuff. Push rods, the hardened push rods, and then the cam back here, and then plus all the other gaskets and the crank pulley bolt and stuff like that. So as far as progress goes, I pretty much just took the driver's side head off. It was kind of a pain in the ass, the 2 bolts back there, and being that, okay, so whoever did the long tube headers on this, I hate you so much. Why would you freaking weld it all together? Use freaking clamps. They just welded it all together, so I wasn't able to really take the headers out and push them out of the way. So I had to take a pry bar and pry them, you know, away from the engine so I can get to the 5 15mm bolts that go along here. That was the biggest pain in the ass, and also the spark plugs were kind of a pain in the ass to remove as well. So I am still waiting on, my buddy's going to be here tomorrow with the 3-jaw puller to remove the crank pulley. Obviously I can't take off the front cover without taking the pulley off, so I have to wait for that. And then pretty much the rest of the day I'm just going to start removing this head here, and then here's the driver's side head. I just kind of started pulling off the old valve springs just to see how it was done. So you got this kit from eBay. It's pretty much a replica of the comp cams. It saves you like 120 bucks versus buying the actual comp cam kit. So what you do is you put this on here. Obviously your valve springs would still be there. You bolt it down and it pushes down on the valve springs so that you can remove the little retaining clips. You just take a little bit of a magnet. Obviously these aren't compressed down, but take a magnet, pretty much stick it right here, and these little 2 clips will pop right up, and you'll be able to remove your old valve springs. So it's pretty simple. It's just a time-consuming process. Make sure you get it right. Don't rush on it. Obviously, with these high-performance engines, you want everything to be correct, or else you could have some type of failure and end up costing yourself a lot of money. So as for that is the update for you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Give me a second, I'm trying to select the appropriate weapon. Watch where you stepping, them snakes all around, you know they connected.